Welcome back to Meet Me at the Table. We're continuing our playthrough of Myth, the module Stone of Life by Megacon Games. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you are too. We've gotten to our third tile, which is a combined tile. Our three heroes have spent their movement points to come to this tile. The tile is laid out before you, but I thought I'd just show you a little bit about what's going on in the adventure. Right now we're at 4 AP in the darkness track, as you can see up on top. Each realm tile can have a maximum of 5 treasures, so I've reloaded the treasures. There's also some flavor text that is going to be presented as we get into this final tile. The small room is crowded. In the corner of the far cell is an unconscious woman. She doesn't look well. Between you and her is a small hunting pack of crawlers and one stalker. The unholy thing's stinger still drips with poison. It turns to face you completely, its claws clicking instructions to the crawlers it accompanies. Quickly, the creatures form ranks. They clearly don't want you to save Piper. On this tile, you'll notice a few things. One, there are these little small web tokens. They are part of our web's trap that we'll be attempting to disarm. It says place a web token in the center intersection of the tile. From the center web token, count 2 intersections diagonal in each direction. Place another web token in each of those locations. To disarm it, the heroes must defeat each web token, and activation. Each time a hero moves adjacent to a web token, roll 1 fate dice. If the result is the hero's defining attribute, the hero suffers from the Capture 3 status effect. If the fate die result is darkness, then 2 crawlers appear as close as possible to that hero and the web token. All other fate dice results are ignored. So you'll see the picture on the bottom, and it shows you about the web tokens. Web tokens are removed when defeated by an adjacent hero performing an attack. So these can't be shot. They have to be attacked from adjacent. Here are your rewards. You get 2 serendipity. The effect is either you get 3 capture or 2 crawlers. Range is 1. Adjacent attack at target number 1, and there is no restrictions. We are going to place that trap card up there for easy reference. The other thing we have to set up is that we have a Piper quest token down here on the board. Piper's been bit and is poisoned. The heroes must cure her of the poison status effect within 5 hero cycles. I'll put that on the screen so you can read it. If we don't get to her, she dies. Piper may be cured by a player who ends their turn adjacent to her and uses an anti-venom potion, which we have none of, fantastic, or a hero ability that cures poison. Like Blood of an Overcomer from our last video I should have kept. That's sweetness right there. The Darkness app right here can also have timers set to it. So we're going to do that so that we have the timer for Piper on our darkness chart. We hit the button, scroll up the cycle counter, and we're going to go to 5. So now I have 5 hero cycles to get to Piper, and we're going to add that. Ta-da! 5 timer. A couple other things that I have to tell you about is that I did decide while moving to the other tile that our outsider is going to put his talon on. just because it gives him more attack dice and fate dice when he attacks. Having used all our base movement to move to this tile, our options are a little limited for the first round. What we are going to do, though, is our Acolyte is going to play Hustle, which will give him 2 additional movement points. And he is going to move 1, 2 over there. Hustle does raise our AP by 1. And since we're so close to the end of the darkness activating, we're going to play our favorite card of all time, Derision. Such a sweet card. So that's 3 AP. And any amount that I go over 6, I get Malice tokens for. That's another 2 Malice for our Outsider. And he's almost back to full Malice. That does cause a darkness cycle, so let's run one. We do have active enemies. Their activation is 3. And I do have a hero within 3. So they are going to activate. He is the priority, though, based on the Derision card. So their movement is 4. So they're going to move up to him. These other ones, these 2 are ranged. These 3 are all close combat. We're going to move like so. Let's put them there so they're away from the Acolyte. They probably don't want to be too close to people. These are within 3, so they can shoot at him. This is as close as these guys could get. Skipping ahead of myself here. Let's do the darkness card first. This could change the whole thing. If there are less than 4 minions, spawn 4 minions immediately. There is no lair on this tile. There's no threat penalty. But if there was, a mini boss would appear. That'd be really bad. Now our activation is minions, captains, mini bosses, and bosses. So the movement was correct. They're going to go before this captain. It's a focus spawn, but there isn't any lair to spawn from. So this captain does have a movement of 5. And he's got a power called Burrow. And if there is no target available, after moving this figure, roll 2 fate dice. On a darkness result, this figure exchanges squares with up to 2 insect minions adjacent to the highest priority hero. So he's going to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And according to the card, there's no target available after moving the 5 squares. So I roll 2 fate dice, and on a darkness result, the figure exchanges a square with up to 2 insect minions. So we'd try to get into this spot here, because every place else he wouldn't necessarily fit. Alright, come on, no darkness. No darkness. We got a nature and faith. So he does not burrow. Back to the action. All the crawlers have moved. Our captain failed to burrow, so now they're going to attack. But with Derision's card stating that enemies within range, which is the tile, have their attack reduced by 1d10. So again, being the greatest card of all time, they don't have any attack. They all roll 0d10. My favorite attack. That ends the darkness cycle. The last card we're going to play is going to be, again, the Outsider. He is going to play Path of Nature, which each hero within range, which is 3, it's going to get both our heroes, increases their threat by 3. In addition, reduce the AP on the darkness meter by 2. Those cards actually go really well together, because Derision is always going to make my AP go up 2 extra if played at the right time. And Path of Nature, even though it gives threat to our heroes, brings it back down to 0. That's pretty fantastic. That's the end of our first hero cycle, meaning Piper only has 4 left. Moving to the hero deck phase, we'll start with our outsider. He does gain those 2 malice tokens. I'm going to put them up here. And then he's going to keep Skylance and discard all the rest of his cards. And draw 4 more. He receives Skewer, Sprint, Sojourner's Path, and Surrogate. Our Dark Fate, if you remember, is an ongoing. It'll remain in play. Our Acolyte will keep Feet of the Saints and discard everything else and draw up to 5 cards. Well, I know Blood of the Overcomer is not in here, but we did get Armor of Faith, Smite, Last Rites, and Last Rites. I guess we're going to make those crawlers learn their rights. That was a bad joke. Our Archer, even though it failed massively last time, we're going to keep Orion's Tears this time and discard the rest. Also, the threat that we gained from our outsiders with all those empty spots drops down to 0. This is the same for the Acolyte. The Acolyte also goes down to 0 threat. We're going to draw 4 cards. We received Retrieve. That was kind of fun. Through a Needle's Eye, Circumvent, and Vision of the Mark. Good cards. And we'll move on to our next hero cycle. We're going to start the hero cycle off with our Acolyte playing Feet of the Saints. This will allow each hero within range, which is the tile, to reduce the AP cost of attack actions by 1. Our next hero that will activate is Karen the Archer. She is going to move cautiously to here. Moving cautiously allows her still to play Vision of the Mark, which on my next attack action that uses ammo gains 1d10 and 1 fate dice, and it does 1 additional damage. We're going to combine that with Orion's Tear. Orion's Tear is an attack with ranged, and for each ready ammo card you may attack 1 target within range. We're going to choose 3. And with the 3 ammo, we are going to attack this crawler, and that crawler. Our Archer's dice pool is going to consist of 1d10 and a fate dice for herself, 1d10 for the Stick and Twine, a 1d10 and a fate dice for Vision of the Mark, and Orion's Tear will also give us a fate die. Let's roll them up and see if we can hit those crawlers. The crawlers have a defense of 4. Alright, don't mess this up. She did not mess it up. Things are glorious. That's 3 dead crawlers. No fate dice recipe though. We managed to kill 1, 2, and 3. I am going to put our treasure token right there. I hope it's an anti-venom potion. Looking at our AP board, we are going to add 1 to the darkness for the crawlers being our active enemy. Orion's Tear is going to cause it to go up 1 more, not 2, because Feet of the Saints reduces AP actions by 1, or AP attack actions by 1. The last thing we're going to play is Retrieve, which again will bring our AP up 1 and allow us to pull 1 of the arrows we shot during Orion's Tear back into our ammo bag. And finally, killing 3 enemies raises our threat not to 26, but to 3. Next player to go is going to be Brian, our outsider. He is going to play, you guessed it, Skylance. He gets to choose one square within 3, move into the chosen square and attack one target within range. I can spend 2 malice tokens to turn this into a reaction. He's going to move to there and make his attack. And I am going to spend my 2 malice tokens to turn this into a reaction. And I have to pay 2 malice. He is going to attack the captain, which is the stalker. The stalker does have a power called Fear Aura, and a hero must pass a courage test in order to attack this figure, or any figure adjacent to this figure. If the test is failed, the attacking hero may only roll 1d10 for the attack, which could make this really bad. So, let us find out what our outsider's courage is. Our novice outsider's courage is 6, so he needs to roll a 6 or better in order to attack the captain with all his might. I really need him to get this. He failed! Oh no! He is only able to roll 1d10 for this attack. Instead of all those dice he could have had, he only gets 1d10. So he needs to beat the crawler, who has a defense of 5, with 1 dice. Come on, outsider. Oh, he failed! No! That's totally going to ruin my plan. Oh, no. That's really too bad our outsider missed. But we still do have to gain darkness. So the Skylance card would normally do 2. But since it's an attack... No, it's not an attack action. I changed it to a reaction. So since it's not an attack action, I do have to gain 2 AP. Wow, that was terrible. That was not good. The next card we're going to play is our Acolyte's Last Rites card. Maybe he can do a little bit better, that Fear Aura. So to build up some faith, we're going to play our Armor of Faith. It says that each enemy within range, which is the tile, has its attack target number increased by a number equal to your faith. Where it sits right now, I have 3. Feet of the Saints, Armor of Faith, and my base hero gives me a faith, so that's 3. I am going to play Last Rites, which I am going to target this square, and then with my 3 faith, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Hopefully we hit these guys. Let's see. Before I make the roll for the Acolyte, I do want to tell you that Last Rites allows me to add extra d10s. I'm going to choose not to because my plan is to keep moving with the Acolyte. He is going to move his base movement, giving him just the yes to attack, no extra d10s. First, since we are attacking the captain and adjacent enemies to the captain, we have to pass a courage test. His courage is 6. Let's not do what the outsider did. Come on. 5. Oh no, he failed too. Alright, that means I only get to roll 1d10, and we'll see how that goes. A 3. Are you kidding? Wow. So apparently nobody in my team can hit anything except the archer, which was just the opposite on the last tile. Oh, that's pretty funny. So there's that attack. Again, we failed miserably, but that's okay. We will still gain darkness AP, and it's going to be 1 due to Feet of the Saints being out. We are going to run a darkness cycle. There are active enemies. And for this attack action, treat threat penalty event as threat 8. We don't have any threat except for our archer because nobody can hit anything. And the monsters all get 2 activation if we were at threat penalty, which we're not. The order of movement is minions, captains, mini-bosses, and bosses. And then there's a deadly spawn, which you can't see, but it doesn't matter because there's no lair. So let us go down to the board, move our crawlers and captain, and do some attacks. The crawlers are both ranged crawlers, so they're going to try to move so that they're at max range. Their target is going to be the outsider because their priority is proximity, and this guy is adjacent. He's going to move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For thematic purposes, I'm guessing he's going to move back to try to keep people away from Piper. 1, 2, 3. He's going to follow him. And both of these are now within 3 squares to be able to attack. The captain is not going to move because he's already adjacent to Brian, our outsider. Let's make our attack rolls. We'll start with our ranged crawlers. They have 2 attacks, but with my armor of faith, their need to hit me, instead of a 7, they need a 10, so they need 10s. Neither of them hit. Our captain has 2 attacks, and he rolls 2d10 and targets 1 individual. He needs a 5 to hit normally, but we're going to add 3, so he needs an 8. His first attack misses. His second attack also misses. At least something's going right. The crawlers can't hit either. With 1 action left to perform, our acolyte is going to move next to this web token, causing it to activate. And per the rules of our card, it states that each time a hero moves adjacent to a web token, roll a fate dice. If the result is the hero's defining attribute, that hero suffers from the Capture 3 status effect. If the fate die result is darkness, then 2 crawlers appear as close as possible to the hero and the web token. All other fate die results are ignored. And remember, to defeat this web token, I have to make a attack action at adjacent attack at target number 1. Since it's just 1 die, I'm going to roll it right next to him. Come on, Ben. All right. That's not his symbol or a darkness symbol. He's going to use Smite as a reaction to take out that web token. It's a TN of 1, and you can't roll less than 1, so I don't actually have to roll any dice. 1 web token removed, 4 left, but we do have to get to Piper as fast as we can. And Smite will make our darkness go up by 1. Our outsider is going to do a lot of moving. He's already moved 3 up to here, but that was with his Skylance card. He's going to play Sprint as his actual action. Remember, we use Skylance as a reaction. So this will give him 3 additional movement points. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3 to pick up that treasure. All right, let's see what we get. I got my bag o' beads. And we got a green treasure. It is a staff used by Arcane. Again, probably not the greatest thing for our group, but let's see what it does. 2d10 on a fate dice. It's a 2-handed weapon. I can resolve as a blink card after that attack. Blink card. Choose 1 square within 3 squares and place your hero there. Huh? Not too bad. Sprint will add 1 to the darkness. And Brian has done a lot of moving, but he actually hasn't used his base 2 movement yet. So he is going to move 2, 1, 2, next to that web token, and let's see what happens. Come on, Brian, nothing bad. A rage symbol, so nothing happens. That's going to be the end of the hero cycle. Piper's demise is becoming closer to a reality. We're going to remove one of our timers and move into the hero deck phase. We're going to do Brian's hero deck phase first. He is going to keep Surrogate. This is about the only way I think I have of curing that poison over there. We're going to discard these 2, remove these 2 from our action board, and draw 4 more. He got knowledge is evil. Knowledge of evil. I guess knowledge is evil sometimes. Alone in the dark. Ooh, maybe we can have the crawlers help us out here. I'll take that. Ooh, Blade of Hate. We're going to discard all these. This is our smite card. We have Last Rites in our hand. Do we keep it? Sure, why not? We'll draw 4 more. Consuming Fire. Always together with the other Consuming Fire. Soothe Wounds and a Sprint card. Karen the Archer is the only one that actually hit something last round, so she actually has threat. She's going to reduce it to 2. Clear these cards. Draw 5 cards. She got Now You See Me, Gift of the Underworld, ammo, sprint, and more ammo. There we go. The crawlers are our only active enemy, so that goes up 1. We're going to start our hero cycle off by our archer loading 2 ammo into her action slots. We are then going to move our acolyte 2 and our archer 2. So they've used their base movement. Our acolyte is then going to use Consuming Fire. His attack fire relic, it does do 1 damage automatically, and then attack 1 target within range. If hit, the target gains a damage over time. The damage over time deals the target 1 damage during a number of refresh phases equal to my faith. Well, my faith is 1, so it'll be 1 refresh phase. The first thing we have to do is see if he is courageous enough to do it. He needs to roll a 6. Yes, he is courageous. Okay, that gives him a D10 and a fate dice for himself, and 1 more for the Worn Prayer Book. And he needs to get a 5. And he did get a 5, well, and a 10 too. Hitting him with Consuming Fire will deal 1 damage. Let's add him to our tracker. Consuming Fire is 1 AP. Our archer is going to continue to have some fun. We're going to go with Gift of the Underworld. Again, this is a 1 damage with a ranged weapon. The attack 1 target within range. If using ammo and the attack hits, the target does gain a damage over time. The damage over time deals the target 1 damage during a number of refresh phases based on your movement. We did move 2, so I only get to do 1 refresh phase again. Alright, we start with our courage test. Be courageous. She is not courageous. Sadness. She gets to roll just 1d10 and hope for a 5 or better. But she did get a 5 or better, so she did hit. So that attack used 1 ammo. It did 1 damage. And it cost 2 AP. We'll run a darkness cycle. Our crawlers are still active. Previous damage done to a lair spawns equal number of minions immediately. We don't have a lair. We also don't have any threat penalty. Speaking of threat, our acolyte should have received 1 threat for doing the 1 damage. That was really blurry. Our archer should also receive 1 threat, bringing hers to 3 from that attack. There is no threat penalty. And we go with the minions and captains first. Or minions first, then captains. And that's going to be important, you'll see. I got a plan. Sometimes they don't come to fruition very well, but I got a plan. There's no lairs, so no spawns. Our plan is Alone in the Dark. Choose 1 captain within range. The range is 4. This captain becomes the only priority for only priority for minions on the realm tile. That's going to be awesome. That card does do 1 AP. Let's go watch those crawlers take care of that captain for us. So I hope I do this right. We'll see how it goes. If I do anything wrong, please let me know. But as far as I can figure this out, these crawlers will be attacking this captain. And they're again going to move back so that he's within 3 squares of this one. This one will also move back. Now they're within 3 squares, so the range crawlers will attack from there. This is where it gets a little... I'm not exactly sure how this works. The crawlers have a 7 to hit the heroes, but does that mean they also need a 7 to hit the stalker? Or does the stalker go off its base 5 defense and they need a 5 to hit? From what I can gather, the crawlers are going to attack, and I believe they would need a 5 to hit the stalker. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but I think that's how it works. So let's go get those 5s. The other sweet thing about this attack is that they're not heroes. They don't need to be courageous. And besides, they only roll 1d10 as it is anyway. So they need a 5. And I got 1, and that's all I needed. That captain is toast. Thank you, crawlers, for doing my work. No more fear aura for you. Off he goes. Treasure goes down. I'm going to put it here. Brian, the treasure magnet, is going to pick that up. He is going to move 1, 2, and pick up that treasure. Alright, let's see what that gets us. Come on, something good. It's a white one. White card. A flawed gem. A gem valued by merchants. Oh, it's worth 4. That's the deal. Oh, I'll take it. He's got a backpack overflowing with stuff. Moving to our hero deck phase, that does complete the hero cycle. Again, Poison is slowly overtaking Piper. Brian again is going to keep his surrogate card, discard everything else, and draw up to 5. He got just a basic attack, Hand of Darkness, a sprint, that's actually what I really need, and Mind Splinter. Ben the Acolyte does have a lot of open spaces, so his threat is going to go down to 0. He's going to keep Last Rites to probably torch those last 2 crawlers, and discard everything else. Draw 4 cards. We got Prey, Hands of the Father, Intercession, and Sprint. Karen has 1 open slot, so we're going to drop this down to 2. She's going to load her 2 arrows. Get rid of that one. She's going to keep Sprint and draw up to 5. Through the Needle's Eye, Hustle, Now You See Me, to the knee, and there's our Sprint card. There are still crawlers on the board. 1 AP on the Darkness. Alright, we're going to start this hero cycle off with Brian playing Hand of Darkness. For each enemy defeated by you, generate 1 Malice token. He is then going to sprint. He's first going to move 2, 1, 2. That triggers this trap. Let's see what happens. It's a faith symbol. We're okay. He doesn't have faith as his fate dice recipe. Then continuing moving, he's still got 3 movement. 1, 2, he is now adjacent to that trap. We must roll again. We got a nature symbol, not a darkness symbol. 1 more for 3. Again, he is moving adjacent to that. I believe I still roll. Faith, we're good. All right, let's attack that crawler. I can choose to use a Malice token to give myself a D10 and a fate dice, but I'm not going to do that. And of course, Brian is always going to face his enemy. Brian is going to get 1d10 and a fate dice for being himself, 2d10 and 2 fate dice for Talon. Now let's roll it up. We need a 4 to hit those crawlers. Got it. But he still can't get that darkness symbol. It's been quite a while since I've seen it. That kills off this crawler. Both sprint and the attack card each give an AP. 1 for sprint, 1 for the attack card. Brian also gains 1 threat and 1 malice token because of Hand of Darkness. Ben the Acolyte is going to go next. I thought long and hard as to who was going to kill this last crawler, and I really thought Last Rites was a good way to absolutely obliterate a crawler. So we're going to go with Last Rites. It attacks 1 target within range. This attack also affects a number of squares equal to your faith. Well, it's 1 is my faith. There is only 1 crawler, so I'm just going to kill it. Our Acolyte's dice pool are going to consist of 1d10 and a fate dice for himself, 2d10 for the Last Rites card, and 1d10 for his Worn Prayer Book. Needs a 4. Don't mess this up. He got just enough for, well, he got a couple 4s, but don't cut it so close next time. Alright, that last crawler is dead. The darkness goes up 2. It is telling me to run a darkness cycle. There are no active enemies on the board to run this darkness cycle. Ben's threat will go up 1. And we'll move into our hero deck phase. The hero cycle is complete, so we do have to remove one of the timer markers for Piper, but I think we're going to be okay. So we're down to 1 timer left. Our hero deck phase is complete. All I did was bring everybody's threat down to 0 because nobody even had more than 4 to begin with, except for Brian. He actually did keep his 1 threat. Other than that, I just cycled out of some cards, but I did keep Surrogate, and that is the card we're going to play, which says choose 1 hero with a status effect within range and remove it. You gain the status effect and gain 1 malice token. So I will gain a malice token. So what we're going to do is remove the poison on Piper. Brian's going to take it, and that's the act. We're not actually going to complete this trap. I don't see any reason to. I would get some more serendipity, but the quest is more important. That's it. We completed the first act. Let's go read the resolution and clean up. This video has gotten a little long, so we're going to wrap up this act in the next video. The conclusion video will have kind of where our characters are, how the act went, and what to expect in the future. Though there are a couple more things just to talk about here. One is this poison token that Brian should have got when he took the poison from Piper using Surrogate. I didn't actually put it on his character board because at the end of an act, all status effects are removed from your heroes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the whole act. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed playing it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Also, please leave any comments or questions or suggestions down below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, I hope you will meet me at the table.